I had someone recently ask me about something they called the Great Agile Reset, and I didn't know a lot about it, so I went online and did some research to try to find more information about this. And I think that the directive talks about more along the lines of moving beyond frameworks and how we can get to have a better agile experience. So that's the easiest way for me to describe it. So I found an article by Stefan Wolpers, and it was published in February, and it talks about the Agile Reset. It says, "Remember my article from 6 months ago about reinventing hands-on Agile to counter the Great Agile Reset?" And I'm like, "No." And he says, "Just kidding. Of course you don't." Back then, I reflected on how to adapt my business model best given the massive changes in the marketplace of Agile. Well, it's time for an honest update, and it's not pretty. So let's take a look at what he calls the Great Agile Reset. He says, quote, "The numbers don't lie, and here's what they're telling us. Product backlog management courses. The content is always solid, and the feedback is always good. However, monetarily, it hasn't met expectations, despite the fact that fixing your product backlog is a sure way to enhance your career prospects." So it sounds like to me it's a little bit of an advertisement for a class, but it's still all good. Next, my shiny new hands-on Agile community on Kajabi. 5% of the invited people ever accepted the invitation. Moreover, engagement-wise, it was a deserted place, virtual tumbleweed included. Okay. Professional Scrum training. Unfortunately, but not unexpectedly, the market has shrunk further than anticipated. It doesn't look promising at all. Hands-on Agile 2025 open space. There are 700 signups, which is excellent. However, only 8 said they were willing to hold a session, which is terrible. And the final nail was I'm canceling the Scrum Master salary report for 2025. 350 responses short of the required participation threshold, and we don't publish questionable data. Okay, so let's pause here. Based on what this gentleman is saying, it sounds like to me he's pointing out the things that indicate that Agile is in a reset. And I get it. And he's pointing it out from a personal perspective. What I can tell you is here at AgileDad, we haven't had those exact problems, but we've seen a similar trend in a shift of focus towards traditional project management and change management initiatives, as opposed to the hold on to the wheel Agile things that we had in the past. So he points out a few different facts or factors, the two massive shifts to change everything. One is framework fatigue is real. He gives a quote by Marty Cagan. He says, "The product model addresses 3 major dimensions: how you decide which problems to solve, how you solve these problems, and how you build, test, and deploy your solutions. Real Agile can certainly help with the third dimension." His translation is organizations are done with copying and pasting frameworks. They realize that true agility means finding your own path and creating value. Standardized training and certification programs, that train has left the station. Okay, let's pause. This is where I a little bit disagree. I do and have said for a long time that no one's going to do pure Scrum or pure extreme programming or pure safe. Nobody does. True agility does mean identifying your own way through initiation, discovery, delivery, and release. But it doesn't mean that you're throwing a baby out with the bathwater. You can't abandon things completely. Now, as far as certification programs are concerned, I have seen a dip in certifications, but what I have seen is a dramatic increase in non-certification programs that incorporate things from the different frameworks. So this shift that I'm seeing is more focused, as I mentioned before, on change management directives, on how we organizationally can put things in place and how we can better align people and systems and backlogs and products and strategies, as opposed to just, hey, execute, go, go, go. All right, next one. AI is eating Agile, sort of. Yeah. He says, "Have you ever played with DeepSeek R1 yet? This isn't just another tech trend. It's a seismic shift in how knowledge work happens. No ChatGPT or Claude won't steal your job tomorrow. But what about your colleagues who mastered prompt engineering, AI data analysis, and agents? They might make you obsolete." I agree. I have a whole thing that I did about AI is not coming to take your job. The person who understands AI better than you do is coming to take your job, because AI is making traditional ways of working obsolete. That is absolutely 100% true. AI plus Agile equals the future. I can tell you right now, he says he's considering building an OBS course on the practicality of combining AI with agile practices. Good news. He says no theoretical stuff, real hands-on stuff like automating the boring parts without losing the agile essence, creating frameworks for prompts for facilitation and coaching, staying relevant when everybody's got an AI sidekick. Great news. I already had this. I have Agile implementation with AI. I have a whole class on AI implementation in Agile, and it's absolutely amazing. It is my best-selling class, and what I can tell you is everyone wants to know end-to-end, how does Agile impact things like vision and strategy? How does it impact brainstorming? How does it impact creation of a product backlog or a roadmap? How do we use it in retrospectives? The real practical application of AI in Agile is here. It's alive, it's well, and it's working. Okay. If you're located in the European Union, have you heard of the Artificial Intelligence Act? I'm not in the UK, so I don't know much about it. Buckle up. You're in for a surprise. By the way, the first phase supposedly started on February 2nd, 2025. My guess is it's something to lock down the way AI can be used in the UK. Doesn't surprise me at all. With a lot of their privacy initiatives, this is something that's been going on for some time there. Better tools. He starts out with, remember my Scrum Anti-Patterns Guidebook? No. But I've recently released a Scrum Master and Product Owner Playbook that help you and talk about how to differentiate yourself from everybody else. There are lots of tools out there. It's a matter of selecting the best tools, like the Daily Stand-Up Podcast, that can help you overcome some of those humps, some of those bumps in the road, so that you can be better equipped with the tools and things necessary for you to do a better job. And then your fourth point is different education. Future courses need to hit the sweet spot between AI capabilities and context-specific value creation. That's where the magic happens. I agree. So, I believe that if you look for traditional Agile, that market is contracting and not expanding. That's just a reality. I am also excited to see what's coming next. I feel like AI plays a huge part of it, and I feel like we play a huge part of it as trainers, that we need to come clean and talk about what's working, what's not working, and how we're going to make that impact happen. And if you want to be part of this journey, that's fantastic. All you need to do is visit agiledad.com/events and register for one of our upcoming AI implementation and Agile classes. And what you'll learn, the number one feedback that I give from this class, which is kind of ironic, is that people say, after taking the class, they say, I don't know what, I'm super excited, but I don't know whether to tell everyone about it or not tell everyone about it so I can make sure I'm secure. That's quite the compliment, because what that means is that people are like, I want to have the upper hand and I want to know about this, but I also want my whole team to be successful, my organization to be successful. So this is the new wave of Agile. This is the way it's going to happen, and I'm glad you're on top of it. So thanks for bringing up that question, and thanks for pointing me out to this article. If you have a topic you want me to cover, learn more at agiledad.com. I'd love to hear from you, and as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.